Y'all fellas, welcome back to a new season of FC25, and this is the shapeshifter season, guys. This is always my favorite time of footies, and shapeshifters is always my favorite promos because you get to see crazy things at times. So let me bring you guys back, but first let's talk about the season pass. I'm gonna go into a website instead because this looks a little bit messy. You know, it's $10 for the premium, I think, $5 to buy and whatnot. But the big thing is CDM all roles, left wing, striker position. You got players that you probably love, wishing you could throw my CDM. Now you can do that. Now I don't know if they go down to goalkeepers. I heard that even goalkeepers you'll be able to switch to if you like to. I just don't know how they're gonna work because goalkeepers have different stats. They don't have CDM positions, so I don't know how that all that stuff is gonna work. But at the very end of this, you will see the jockey is crazy, guys. The jockey plus is nuts. A quick step plus is nuts. It's almost at the very end, but you'll get a quick step plus, which is, that's nuts to me. Tonali, different cards that intercept plus, finesse shot is back again. Leao and Kaká. Like Kaká, bro, it's crazy to have. Now, let's go to the website though. So the reason why position changes are so interesting, guys, though, is for example, right? In the new season, quick step and all that, you could do stuff like this. Players like stocky tall that are very, in my opinion, deep players to go for defensively because they're just better in the sense of body type and you get that extra push. We know this is a rebound game. Sometimes even small players with high balance will just get through because very glitchy in a sense. So I feel the stockiest builds are the ones you need with balance and whatnot. So always go for players like, if I say his name right, Ta. You know, I was like this. Will I do this one specifically? I'm not sure, but this is definitely a card that I'm always looking into. That anybody that's stocky and tall, you could do stuff with anticipate, intercept, jockey, and then the quick step. That's a disgusting combo when it comes to defensive just capability. Now, and again, you could even throw a CDM position on him. The only problem is, you're not gonna have passing and dribbling, CDM. You want even higher balance and whatnot. He'd be a destroyer, for sure. But what's more important that you can do with this kind of stuff is, for example, Hudlin, right? He's a striker. Now, obviously, CDM, who's gonna be running these stats as CDM? But it's not even about that. It's just about adding CDM role to then be able to add different stats. So let's say you found your favorite play styles, whether it's quick step, rapid, and technical. If that's what you want to go for, then you can add, for example, a CDM role and then see if he fits into other CDM stats. Just to get the extra, whether it's strength, stamina, jumping, you know, even a little bit of more balance that you need to boost the card. This way you can kind of really be specific with your card to get some really interesting evos, more than you would regularly get if you never give him anything. For example, if I didn't give Hudlin just nothing, he will have just hero, hero and a half shell. And then, you wait for whatever drops after. This is the only thing he's qualified for at the moment, and then this stuff. But as soon as you give him position changes, obviously he becomes available for other evos like canonize me, captain, keep up the pace, stuff that gets a card really up there. And then if you wanted to go on top of the world, then you give him a CDM role, and not necessarily play CDM, but let's say you want a crazy attacker, then you can, maybe indulge into other things like you can throw your favorite playstyles first, and then you can boom, boom, boom. You can start going crazy, start throwing the card everywhere in any sense, and you can have even better evolutions if you look at that stuff before you do anything. So, um, that's pretty much that kind of just that little explanation there of what you can do at Evos. That's why I love shapeshifters, man. This is always the best time I feel now. Um, for example, do you guys remember Petrocek? This is one of the best strikers I think I've used of all time. This card was so good, guys. So good. Stepper with speed boost, you were calm. This guy was a menace, man. To this day, in R9, those guys were never to me in the level of Petrocek. He was just guys. He was a base lengthy. They only either had controlled or lengthy at this time. 84 agility, 95 bounce. Look at these stats. Like he was disgusting. You know, 6'5", but he was just a demon of a card, guys, at that striker position. Then we also had one of the best center mids of all time, in my opinion. This card was so good. And like I said back then, lengthy or not. And 82 agility, 95. Again, always with the balance. The best cards are always control lengthy or base lengthy and up with very high balance every single time. Obviously, defensive stats speak for themselves, but agility never plays a part for the best strikers. For me, my opinion, it never played. Wingers possibly, but strikers, it's the balance and dribbling. So anyway, back to the talk. Now let's look at the players, because man, it would be a lot to go through when it comes to this new season. Kaká, it's gonna take a long time to even get here, but this is probably one of the highest ratings I've seen, man. 98.1. This is one of the highest ratings I have seen. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. So, card's probably nuts, man. One of the 5-star play styles: quick finesse shot, rapid, first touch, incisive, low driven. This is just disgusting of a card. Oh my goodness. I wonder what cards we will have by the time we reach Kaká, but man, this is just brutal. Then we also have Tomori. Rafael Leao is one of the other big ones. Where's Leao? Um, Grealish looks good, but then I center mid, I wouldn't really suggest him a right back or left back. Right mid and center mid. Grealish looks pretty good at right mid or center mid. Oblak. Oh, Kobel, and like a lot of these stats from a lot of these shapeshifters cards, they go crazy on the balance, man. So I like this season. I like these evils. Now the play styles, this was actually not bad. This is a striker. This is extremely valid. I think this will be good at striker with that first touch. Aerial, I heard headers are a little bit boosted. I'm not sure how good. We will find out. It seems to me like the EA are focusing a lot on giving some of that, some of those players with some aerial and whatnot and some header traits. So it could be interesting, but man, all these again boosted balance. Yeah, man. Honestly, it's looking like a really good season. I do think the Evos is where it's gonna be at for sure, with the goalkeepers coming into possibly CDM positions or striker positions. I know, that a lot of short players do have a say so this year. If anything, you don't even need big players, but you guys that you love to have fun. You want to enjoy different cards, but they maybe shouldn't be at. This is why I love the shapeshifters, because it's just you can really mess with the unanswered stuff. And yeah, honestly, it just brings me back to these days. Anything that's gonna bring it back to these days, man. I love these cards. This one and this one is just everybody hating people who use guys. These guys were so good that you were criticized as soon as they saw you that card in that team. That's how good he was. I still use them all year. He was too good. But Leao, for example, is a 95 rated forward. And they actually do pay attention to new accelerate. I didn't know that. I thought they didn't really care too much about it, but they do. The control lengthy and up specifically, as long as it has control lengthy, they do rate it. And the higher is probably the better, but they're not gonna go tell you guys to tell you. They're not gonna tell y'all you must have base length. They're gonna tell you, bro, just at least get a control length in your set. So I get that. Anyway, he's got a first touch, a low driven, a trickster, whipped. Like this is yeah. At this point, man, you're reaching to the point where there's what more do you need? Definitely more winger than striker, but he could play striker. But definitely more winger than striker because he doesn't got the low driven plus. But honestly, he could play striker too because he's got a finesse shot. He could play striker too. He can still make finesse shots pretty good. Yeah, all rounder, man. Wing, striker, especially on that wing with like I said, they're focusing on headers, man. Because that whip pass, they're focusing on headers. Maybe it's back. I gotta make a video possibly talking about if I can score a header now. Who knows? We're gonna have to get some header play styles and some aerial and see what we can do, because EA seems to be really throwing in that whip pass and adding some heading to some cards. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens with that. But all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's little review. It's probably a lot of stuff I missed, man. A lot of cards that I haven't even gone through. but it'd probably be a video that takes forever. I just wanted to kind of indulge in the important stuff, and that is, if you have a card that you're set in stone with, and like you just want to add more playstyles, more evos to him, I would suggest honestly looking into position changes, because they can be. This is where you can really create a demon, you know, for sure. All right, guys. Hope you guys see this video. Catch you later. Peace.